Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love of the author and me. On to the show, quick! Limit its movements. Lin You shouted at Lingxi beside him, and immediately pulled out the bone broadsword made in the production workshop before, and took a posture to meet the enemy. At the same time, the plants around him moved out one after another, and countless vines rushed out and surrounded the rock monsters against the ground. The rock monster that was still charging forward was suddenly by vines and 5 flowers, and it was tied into a zonzi. Roar! The rock monster let out an angry roar, yanked its limbs violently, and actually tore off all the vines on its body. What a terrifying power! This time, Lin You finally realized that the horror of power-type monsters is simply not something he can deal with fourth-order monsters. Not daring to be careless, he immediately shouted to the side, Lingxi. Lingxi, who received the order, flew up quickly, and pointed the staff out of thin air, and a large number of thorns suddenly grew on the rock monster's body, which tied it again. The rock monster struggled desperately, but was unable to break free from the shackles of thorns in a short time, and fell to the ground with a bang. Then red mushrooms appeared and fell on it. Boom boom. With a deafening explosion, the whole air shook violently. The mushroom bomb of the 5th order explosive mushroom is really powerful. Even if the rock monster's vitality is strong, it is not slightly injured, struggling to get up while roaring in anger, and the huge fist suddenly slammed to the ground. In an instant, the ground shattered and spread out with the rock monster as the center. Go back! Lin Yu's complexion changed, and he immediately took the plants to evacuate quickly, evading the range attack of the rock monsters. When he looked at the rock monster again, he found that the ground around it had already collapsed, which was terrible. As expected, it is worthy of being a monster known for its strength. It is terrifying to have such a destructive power with a single blow. However, Lin Yu's plants are not vegetarian. Especially the 2 5th-tier troops, when the rock monster was seriously injured, they attacked again, stabbing sharply one by one, and bombarded with explosive mushrooms. In the angry roar of the rock monster, it completely drowned it. Successfully killed the 5th order rock monster and gained 50 magic energy. Hearing the prompt coming from his ear, Lin Yu breathed a sigh of relief. Also a little fortunate. Fortunately, the speed of this rock monster is not fast, otherwise he would have lost a lot of 4th-tier troops with the destructive power just now. As soon as the rock monster died, he immediately let the injured plants activate the devouring skill to devour the rock monster's corpse, use it to recover the injury, and then move on. As he walked along the way, he encountered more and more monsters, and almost all of them were above the 4th rank, and occasionally he encountered 5th-order monsters. No wonder no one dared to come here. Fortunately, he has 2 5th-order plants to him, and he also has 5th-order strength. As long as he does not encounter more than 2 5th-order monsters, there will be no big problem. So soon. Lin You left the forest border far behind and came to a mining area. This is ore. Lin You picked up a dark stone under his feet and his eyes moved slightly. At the same time, a piece of information appeared in front of him. Name: iron ore. Introduction: one of the materials for territory construction, which can be used for various types of construction. Sure enough, this pitch-black stone is one of the materials needed to upgrade the territory to Tier 6, iron ore. Lin Yu was inexplicably surprised. He didn't expect to find iron ore in such a place. And looking at it like this, I am afraid there are mines around, which contain extremely huge ore resources. Great, now the upgrade materials are finally available. As the saying goes, the building near the water comes first. Lin Yu's territory is so close to here, it is a perfect opportunity to allow him to accumulate enough iron ore in a short period of time. Just do it. Lin Yu immediately stopped exploring and led the plants to mine iron ore in the mine. To here, Lin Yu can't help but admire that the personal storage space, unlocked after reaching the 5th level, is really powerful. Just like a portable independent space, it can be used to store many things, including various resource ores. His current personal storage space is enough to store 100 units of things. Except for some things that must be used when going out, it is not a problem to store 70 or 80 units of iron ore. After all, he only needs to run back and forth 10 times, and he can collect enough iron ore to upgrade the territory. It's much faster than he can carry a little bit. The plants were also working very hard. First, the Dryad warrior blasted the ore, and then the poisonous witch used the vines to transport the ore to Lin You. In less than an hour, Lin Yu's personal space was filled. Then he led the plants back to the territory, stored all the ores in the newly built territory warehouse, and then continued to mine. Lin You estimated that it would take more than 2 hours for a round trip, counting the mining time, and occasionally encountering monsters on the way to earn some magic energy, which is acceptable. So all day, he spends all his time traveling back and forth between the territory and the mine. It was not until it was nearly evening that he returned to the territory with the 4th wave of ore and temporarily stopped carrying it. I plan to wait until tomorrow morning before continuing to leave. After returning to the territory, the first thing Lin You did was to check the collection of stones. When he saw that the stone had passed 500, he was overjoyed and immediately spent 1,000 mana points to raise the Tower of Arms to the 5th rank. In an instant, the light flashed. The Tower of Arms suddenly raised a few points and became much grander. Lin You hurriedly clicked on the information to view www.lightnovel.com and found that he could study the 5th Order arms, so he immediately chose to study, and the first choice was of course the plant elves. Researching the 5th Order rare arms requires 1,000 points of magic energy. Do you want to continue? Continue. The research consumption of rare arms is twice that of ordinary arms. Fortunately, in the past 2 days, the Lotus in Fire has provided him with a lot of magical energy. In addition to the money he earned along the way today, and the rest of the past, nearly 2,500 points are completely enough for him to upgrade buildings and study arms. After arranging the research task, he closed the interface and went to eat. After all, after a busy day, you should treat yourself well. Silent all night. When the early morning sun shone into the wooden house through the gaps in the leaves, Lin You had already woken up. One rolled over and got out of bed, washed briefly with the accumulated dew, and walked down the stairs to the bottom of the territory. Today is the 3rd day of the regional leaderboard opening. In other words, after today, ranking rewards will be issued. First place, 5,000 points of magic energy, territorial essence x3. Second place, 5,000 points of magic energy, territorial essence x2. Third place, 5,000 points of magic energy, territorial essence x1. Fourth place, 4,000 magic energy. The top 3 will be rewarded with the essence of the territory, and it is also corresponding to the level of the territory. The 4th to 10th places are 4,000 points of magic energy. 10th to 100th, 3,000 mana points. And so on, until the reward reaches 10,000. Lin You won't be satisfied with a mere 4,000 points of magic energy reward. No matter what, he has to squeeze into the top 3 and get the essence of the territory. Brothers, after you reach the 5th rank, there will be no unit rewards. Just when Lin You was checking the leaderboard, a message suddenly appeared on the regional channel. The channel, which was very lively in the early morning, went silent for a moment, and then it exploded completely. There is no unit reward for upgrading to tier 5. What's going on? Are you sure this news is true? Who told you that? Impossible. Every time I level up, I get a reward for the troops. How come it's gone when I reach the 5th rank? Isn't it a lie? There are only a few 5th orders out now. It doesn't seem to be a lie. I also heard from those 5th order bosses. This. The news on the channel is densely connected, and everyone is shocked by the appearance of this news. After tier 5, no new units will be rewarded. It was simply that their hope of changing their lives against the sky was abruptly cut off. A lot of lords who were randomly assigned to trash units in the early stage even wailed and cursed, thinking it was unfair. But no matter how angry they were, it was just a waste of effort, and it didn't change the result in any way. As for the others, it was a mixture of joy and shock. After all, God has given them 4 chances, so if they can't find a single unit that can be used randomly, then it's not a matter of luck. In addition, there is now a Tower of Arms. As long as you randomly find a decent unit and work hard to collect resources, you can still improve your level. Therefore, in terms of results, resources are the most important. No matter how many troops there are, it is useless to talk without resources. It is precisely because Lin You deeply understands this truth that he will get up early and stay up late and work so hard to accumulate resources. Seeing the discussion on the regional channel, he just smiled slightly, didn't care, and continued to head towards the other side of the forest. When he walked through the forest and came to the wasteland, the news on the regional channel was also cleared, turning into a few scattered news, which seemed to have just been sent this morning. Did anyone else come here? Lin You frowned. He didn't expect that someone would come to explore this wasteland so soon. It seems that he has to speed up the mining, otherwise, if the mining area is discovered, it will definitely cause a huge battle. And after one night passed, there were more than 20 people on the 5th rank of the list. At this rate, there will only be more and more tier 5s. By then, iron ore will definitely be in short supply and will be robbed by countless people. He didn't want to get involved in such trouble. Thinking of this, Lin You couldn't help speeding up and rushing towards the mine. Soon, he came to the bottom of the mine where the ore was originally dug and continued to dig. With the diligent digging of the plants, the iron ore in his personal storage space became more and more, and it didn't take long for most of it to be full. Huh? What is this? Suddenly, Lin Yu's eyes were attracted by a grayish-white ore in the pile of ore. That ore is different from iron ore, and its color is slightly brighter. He picked up the ore and put it in his hand, looking at it curiously. Name: copper ore. Introduction: one of the materials for territory construction, which can be used for various types of construction. Copper ore. Seeing the information about this ore, Lin You was shocked. Isn't this another material for territorial upgrades? Unexpectedly, there are also iron ore veins. Excited, he immediately came to the pile of ore he just dug and rummaged around. Sure enough, it didn't take long for him to turn to 7 or 8 copper mines. Although the amount is smaller than that of iron ore, it still accounts for a certain proportion, which is also a pleasant surprise. In this way, the output of copper ore is finally settled. After collecting the ore, Lin You left the mine with the plants and rushed back towards the territory. After 2 rounds, the amount of iron ore has reached more than 400 units. Although the copper ore is not much, it is slowly increasing. I believe that it will not be long before he can collect materials enough to raise the 6th rank. However, just when Lin You arrived at the mining area for the 3rd time, an accident happened. An uninvited guest suddenly broke into the mine and met him directly. It was a stern young man of the same age as him, with a group of fire element troops and a few earth element troops by his side. The young man didn't seem to expect to meet others here. After seeing Lin You, he was stunned for a moment, and then immediately became vigilant. Lin You is the same. Looking at the other party with great surprise, at the same time secretly startled. Because he found out that the 2 extraordinarily large fire elements beside the young man had reached the 5th rank. In the element system, there are more than 2 5th-order arms. No matter how stupid Lin You is, he can still guess the identity of the other party. You're that Yanwu, right? Lin You spoke first, with affirmations mixed in his words. The young man was surprised for a moment, and said the same. If I guessed correctly, you should be Lin You from the plant department, right? Obviously, he also guessed Lin Yu's identity, through the characteristics of Lin Yu's arms. The 2 looked at each other for a while. After confirming his conjecture, he suddenly looked at each other and smiled. There are a lot of ores in this mine, which are enough for us to dig. We can take what we need? I think so too. Yanwu smiled slightly, his expression relaxed. He came here for the purpose of digging ore, and he didn't have to fight against a powerful enemy like Lin You. Moreover, they are both in the 5th rank, and their rankings are not far apart. Even if they can win, they will definitely lose a lot, and the gains will outweigh the losses. Anyone who is smart knows how to choose. Besides, the two of them don't have any conflict of interest, and they each get what they need, so why not do it? So after a brief exchange, the two separated into two sides, each mining ore, and the well water did not violate the river water. You must have spent a lot of time mining here, right? Yenwu's voice, www.lightnovel.com, came from the other end of the mine. Yeah, I've been here a few times, and the materials needed to upgrade the Tier 6 territory are a bit much. Lin You replied vaguely, without telling the other party the exact time. After all, they only met for the first time, so they still have to be on guard. There was silence for a while, and then he said hesitantly, I advise you, it's better not to rise to the 6th level so quickly. Don't go up to the 6th rank so quickly? Why? Lin You was surprised. This is the first time he has heard of it. Don't let people level up so quickly. Isn't this world the stronger the better? Why is it the other way around? Trust me, after reaching the 6th level, something big will happen, and that's not necessarily a good thing for us. Yenwu's voice came again, it seemed to be a little more serious than before, and he was even slightly apprehensive. When Lin You heard this, his face froze. It is definitely not a trivial matter to make the third person so jealous. Could it be that this Yenwu knew something that he didn't know? Surprised, he immediately asked, what's the big deal? Can you tell me? Actually, I don't know either. I only know that the area where we are now is not really a primitive continent. Once it reaches the 6th level, it will attract something. Is there such a thing? Lin You was even more surprised. I also heard it from people who came from other areas by chance. Yenwu's voice gradually became low. According to what that person said, there was a ruthless man in their area. Through the method of resource concentration, he raised himself to the 6th rank first. As a result, on the night of the 6th rank, he disappeared mysteriously, and even the territory disappeared. Disappear? Lin You was shocked. That's right, it just disappeared out of thin air, leaving no trace behind. Yenwu said in a deep voice. Although separated by the mountain, Lin You could feel his solemnity. Moreover, Yenwu had just met him for the first time, so there was no need to lie to him. In other words, after rising to the 6th rank, it is really possible that something unexpected will happen, which is simply appalling. Under the shock, Lin You immediately said gratefully, thank you for letting me know, I have written down this favor. You're welcome. A smile appeared on Yenwu's stern face. The reason why he told Lin You such important news was because he pushed the boat along the way and gave Lin You a favor. Now that the goal has been achieved, he didn't say anything, and sent troops to continue digging the ore. The two were speechless. It didn't take long for Lin You to collect ores that filled the entire storage space, bid farewell to Yenwu, and left the ore area directly. Although there will be changes in the 6th rank, the gathering of resources should not be left behind. After all, there is no harm in having more resources. And after listening to Yenwu's words, he had a vague hunch that something big would happen soon, so it's better to prepare early. Return to the territory and store the ore in the warehouse, then leave the territory again and set off to mine. After two back and forth, the sky gradually darkened. There is still half an hour before the awards will be issued on the evening list. Lin You took a look at his ranking. Because he has been collecting ores and has not recruited troops, he has dropped to more than a dozen. The names on the list have also changed a lot, with many new faces appearing in the top 10. The only constant is Tianga, who is number 1. After all, he was the first person to rise to the 5th rank. I am afraid that he has already researched the 5th rank arms and began to recruit and expand. Taking advantage of this last time, Lin You was not idle. Closed the leaderboard, and immediately came to the Tower of Arms, and found that the advanced form of the plant elves had been studied. In other words, he can now recruit Tier 5 troops. Fortunately, I finally caught up. Lin You breathed a sigh of relief, and glanced at the 1,800 points of magic energy accumulated in the past 2 days. Although it was not many, it was able to stabilize those who had not yet developed the 5th Order arms. And from what happened today, even the third-ranked Lin You would not have more than 5 tier 5 troops around him, otherwise it would be impossible to take only 2 tier 5 troops out. This is his chance. Lin Yu's eyes narrowed slightly, and without hesitation, he immediately started recruiting troops. And just when he started sprinting for the list. At this time, in the regional channel, there was a lot of noise, because the list was about to be settled. I bet that the first place is definitely Tianga. Not necessarily? No one can tell until the last second. It is definitely impossible to replace the first place. He is one day faster than the others to reach the 5th rank. It is not easy to catch up. So we still have to look at the 2nd and 3rd places. It is estimated that many people have begun to exert their strength and are ready to impact these 2 rankings. Look. It's changed, and the rankings have changed again. The big guys really started to exert their strength. The people who eat melons in the channel are arguing endlessly, and the people on the leaderboard are also full of energy, and they have launched a sprint for the 2nd and 3rd places. Almost every few seconds, the ranking will change, and the competition is fierce. Even Yan Wu, who was ranked 3rd, was pushed to 6th, but he was quickly chased by him to 5th. As they said, they didn't know what the outcome would be until the last second, and everyone exclaimed, even more excited than watching a blockbuster movie. Lin You, who was still in the top 10, was squeezed into the 40s at once, and he was about to be pushed out of the top 50. What's the matter? How could his ranking drop so much? Inside the territory, Luo Lei anxiously looked at Lin Yu's ranking. As early as half an hour ago, he was always paying attention to Lin Yu's name, wanting to see what amazing performance he would have. But after waiting for a long time, Lin You didn't wait for Lin Yu's ranking to rise. Instead, it kept falling, which made him frown. Some people also noticed Lin Yu's ranking, and they all sneered. Look, that Lin You has already dropped to more than 40, which is too miserable. Really? Wasn't he number 5 before? Haha, let me just say, the plant system is just like that, how can it be compared with other arms? Now the true form is revealed? He estimates that he has no hope of being in the top 10, and the plant system is still weak. The first 2 days are estimated to be in the top 10, with good luck. What's the use of entering? The real boss is only starting to exert his strength now. It is difficult for countless people to understand that Lin You can enter the top 10. Now seeing his ranking drop significantly, many people immediately gloat over the misfortune. At this time, there were only 5 minutes left until the reward settlement, and it was almost impossible to rush into the top 10 from more than 40, so many people put their eyes on the top 10 again and no longer pay attention to Lin Yu's ranking. There is one last minute. Someone on the channel starts broadcasting the time when the reward is settled. The melon-eating crowd, who were still arguing, suddenly held their breath and stared at the leaderboard, for fear of missing something. The big guys on the leaderboard also started to do the final sprint, and the rankings changed wildly. There are still 5 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time up. Finally, a ray of light flashed, and the names on the leaderboard were instantly frozen, maintaining the ranking of the previous second. Everyone was shocked, and they couldn't wait to look at the top 10 on the list, wanting to see which big shot was shortlisted. When the light faded, the names on the list gradually came into their eyes. www.manganovel.com. The first place was as they expected, it was still occupied by Tianga, and there was no change. After all, he reached tier 5 one day faster than the others, and he was a powerful unit like the devil, so he didn't feel any surprise. But when their eyes fell on the second place, they were all stunned. Second place. Lin You. What's the matter? How could he be the second? In an instant, everyone was startled, and their eyes suddenly widened. No one expected that it would end up like this. This Lin You, who was in his 40s just now, why did he suddenly jump to the second place? How can that be? More than 40 jumps at once? How did he do it? This is too exaggerated, isn't it? Could it be that he recruited several 5th-tier troops at once? Impossible. He must be cheating. Cheating? Would you like to do one too? I was shocked. I didn't expect that such a dark horse would be killed in the end. This is too fierce. The plant-type unit took the second place? As expected of Mr. Lin You, he is really different. What about the person who laughed at him just now? Why didn't you say anything? Lin Yu's feat of winning the second place in one fell swoop can be said to have caused 1,000 waves and caused a great sensation. No one expected that Lin You, who had no hope at all, would kill him in the last few seconds, and even made it to the second place. Those who were still laughing at him just now tightened their necks and dared not speak, for fear of being remembered by him. The entire regional channel was lively, and all were discussing this matter. Is it really the second? In the territory, Lin Yu silently looked at the regional list. Just now, he directly spent 1,800 magic energy points and recruited 18 fifth-order arms, and they were all rare arms. For this reason, he specifically did not mutate, and tried to increase the number of his 5th-tier troops. But even so, he couldn't surpass Tianga, who was number 1. One can imagine how strong that guy is. There are at least 20 or more tier 5 arms. Lin Yu was not surprised by this result, just a little surprised. And just as he was checking the list, a prompt sounded in his mind. Congratulations, you won the second place in the regional rankings, rewarded with 5,000 points of magic energy, and the essence of the 5th order territory X2. All of a sudden, he received another 5,000 mana, which could just be used to mutate troops. After browsing the list again, he closed the interface, got up and went to the 5th order troops that were just recruited. The advanced form of the grass and wood elves is a kind of arms called vegetable spirits. Like the plant elves, they are composed of light clusters, and they are slightly larger in size. There are also some tentacles made of light around them, which are easy to identify. These are all fine. Anyway, he's used to the weird shape of this unit. The most difficult thing for him to accept is the recruitment price of the 5th order arms. It actually rose to 100 mana. Counting the 100 mana used for mutation, that is to say, it would cost him 200 mana to create a 5th order unit. Simply outrageous. It's no wonder that those people generally don't have many tier 5 arms, he finally understands now. If it wasn't for this leaderboard reward, he probably wouldn't be able to recruit a few tier 5 troops. There is no way, in order to survive, no matter how expensive it is, you can only recognize it and directly use mutation on one of the grass and trees. The 5th order summoning unit needs to consume 100 magic energy to perform mutation. Do you want to continue? Continue. Hearing the prompt coming from his ear, Lin Yu gritted his teeth and responded, at the same time feeling distressed. Then a ray of light flashed, and the grass and trees in front of him turned into a vine as tall as a person. Name, Pink Enchantress. Race, Plant. Level 5, 0/250. Strength, 170. Physique, 173. Agility, 145. Spirit, 162. Skills, Protection of Plants, Poison Ivy Whip, Charming Poison Mist. Introduction, the advanced form of the poisonous enchantress, the poison that spews out is strengthened, and has the effect of charming the enemy and paralyzing the opponent's spirit. Charming the enemy? After reading the information about the pink enchantress, Lin You looked a little weird. I didn't expect that the poisonous witch would become like this after she advanced. Not only has her body grown a lot taller, but her figure is also a little enchanting. The flower buds on the top have turned pink, and there are threads of pollen scattered all around. Because Lin Yu is its summoner, he will not be affected by these pollen. But he could feel that these pollen had a charming effect on creatures. If there is a chance in the future, I can find someone else to try it and see how it works. I don't know who will be the first lucky one. Lin Yu thought maliciously. Next, he asked the pink enchantress to try to attack again, and found that the attack distance of its vines also increased, from more than 30 meters before to more than 40 meters. This distance is definitely beyond the reach of all other units except long-range attacks. Even if it is a long-range attack, I am afraid that few can reach this distance. This is the advantage of plant-based units, growth. As long as there is land, it can continue to grow and attack when the enemy is not ready. After studying the changes of the pink enchantress, Lin You continued to mutate other units. Down in half an hour. The 18 grass and tree primordial spirits he just recruited have also become new 5th order units. Among them, the 7 pink witches and the 2 bursting mushrooms all inherited the protection of grass and trees skill of the grass and trees, which seems to be more compatible with this skill. There are also 4 wood demons like Lingxi, who inherited the long-range attack skill of natural control. The remaining 5. There are 3 mutations that have become the advanced form of the Dryad Warrior, Tree Spirit Leader, and 2 have become the advanced form of the Piranha Flower King Overlord Flower. The Tree Spirit Leader who has risen to the 5th rank has grown a lot bigger, and his strength has also increased a lot. It is perfect to use it as a meat shield. As for the Overlord Flower, it has produced many barbs, its melee combat ability has been greatly enhanced, and its garrison territory is even more unique. 18 troops have been mutated. Lin Yu glanced at his magic energy, there were still 3,002 left. However, he did not continue to recruit troops. Because he found that after the accumulation of these 3 days, the experience of those 4th order plants has almost reached the full value. As long as there is an ancient tree of knowledge, I believe that it will soon be able to rise to the 5th level, and there is no need to spend magic energy to recruit new ones. It just so happened that he collected a lot of stone in the past few days, and these magical energy can be used to upgrade other buildings, as well as research troops. Thinking of this, he continued to work in the territory, the other side. Those lords are still arguing in the regional channel, arguing about the result of this ranking. And Luo Lei, who had been staring at the leaderboard, took a long time to recover, and his eyes were full of shock. 2nd place. He actually did it. Luo Lei couldn't believe it. In the last second, he was still in the 40-something range, and the next second, he rushed to the 2nd place. How many tier 5 arms would have to be recruited to achieve this? But he can be sure. At this time, Lin Yu probably already had no less than 10 5th tier troops around him, otherwise it would be impossible to be so exaggerated. 10 5th order arms. Even if he sends just one www.lightnovel.com, he will be hard to resist. Only by doing his best can he win, let alone 10. Simultaneously. Some barren volcanic area. Inside a wall made of flames. Yan Wu was also looking at the newly updated list, his expression extremely surprised and solemn. This guy. It's really not easy. Originally, he had an intention to befriend Lin Yu before, but he just felt that Lin Yu had the strength to rival him. But he didn't expect it to be so unexpected. To cross more than 40 rankings in one step, not everyone can do it, not even him. This made him have to pay more attention. All in all, with today's rankings, it can be considered that Lin Yu's name has been completely established, and he has also established his reputation as the first brother of the plant department. No one dared to despise the plant-type arms anymore, and no one thought that the plant-type arms were weaker than other arms. It was a time to justify the name of this arm. At this time, Lin Yu turned his ears away and concentrated on his own business. After raising the rest of the buildings to Tier 4, he went to the production workshop, checked the production list, and quickly found what he wanted. Building name, wall. Production introduction, it can consume wood and stone to build stronger walls. Since the last time the territorial wall was destroyed by Morone Tian, Lin Yu deeply felt that the defense of his territorial wall was insufficient, and he couldn't prevent the attacks of those troops at all. Anyway, there is currently no way to upgrade to the 6th rank, so I can just use the collected materials to upgrade the walls and strengthen the defense of the territory, so as not to be broken by others when I can, in a blink of an eye. The night passed. Lin Yu was always thinking about the fence, so he woke up at dawn. Today, he didn't plan to go to the wasteland to mine again. Instead, he took all the troops and collected stones in the mountains behind the territory, preparing to use it to heighten and thicken the walls and improve the security of the territory. And the quarry after the upgrade to the 4th level, the quarrying efficiency has also improved a lot. Building name, Quarry. Building level, Tier 4. Building introduction, improve the efficiency of collecting stone in the territory. Gathering efficiency, 140%. Construction required, 500 wood, 500 stone, 100 iron ore, 100 copper ore, 1000 magic energy. After the building reaches the 4th level, the upgraded materials also contain iron ore and copper ore, so the 4th order building is the most cost-effective level for Lin You. As for whether he will rise to the 5th rank in the future, that will be a matter of the future, not what he needs to care about now. So all morning, he spent all his time in the territory and in the mines. And the plants that have been upgraded to the 5th rank are also very powerful. Their strength is many times stronger than that of ordinary people. For them, handling stones is completely a piece of cake. Thanks to their help. It was just noon, and 500 units of stone had already been accumulated. With the addition of 500 units of wood, Lin You directly passed the production workshop and doubled the height and thickness of the wall, and the entire territory was instantly refreshed. Okay, everyone, let's rest. Lin You shouted at the plants that were carrying the stones and recalled them to the territory. Then set up a stove in the territory, started roasting meat to prepare lunch, and turned on the regional channel at the same time to pay attention to the movements in the area. Have you heard? Someone discovered a large iron ore vein in the wilderness, beyond the forest. Iron ore? Really or not? Isn't that the material for upgrading the territory to Tier 6? I also heard that it seems that many 5th order bosses who have received the news have rushed over. Hi, 5th order? Isn't that very dangerous? It's more than dangerous, it's just terrifying, isn't it? I took a look today, all of them are of the 5th order, and they have already started fighting outside the mine. Damn it, fortunately I didn't go. The past 5th order and below is simply a death sentence. Lin You was very surprised. Unexpectedly, someone discovered the ore veins on the other side of the forest so quickly, and attracted so many 5th order lords to go there. Looking at it like this, I am afraid that the mining area has become a mess now, and they are desperately fighting for the mineral resources. Fortunately, he had foresight, and he had stockpiled a lot of iron ore in advance, so he didn't have to fight with these people for the time being, and even if he did, he might not be able to grab much, and he might fall into a situation where he would be attacked by the enemy. Look at the sky. Suddenly, someone on the regional channel exclaimed. Lin You, who was still checking the chat information, was startled and looked up at the sky subconsciously. But the next second, his pupils suddenly tightened. I saw that in the endless sky, I don't know when, a stream of light appeared, dragging its long tail and falling towards the endless continent. This familiar picture is exactly the same as when the treasure chest was dropped for the first time before. Fuck. Treasure chest. Another treasure chest fell from the sky. I saw it too. It's really a treasure chest. What's the situation? Why did another treasure chest fall? Is it the same as last time? What treasure is in it? I heard that last time Murong Tian grabbed something that could be exchanged for a lot of resources, and some people saw the arms token. A class token? That's great. I thought it was a meteorite and didn't go last time, but this time I must grab what's in the treasure chest. Let's see where it falls. The lords exclaimed again and again, and Lin You was also shocked. After many days, the treasure chest fell from the sky again. No one knows what this means. But they knew something. That is the treasure chest, there is something they want. This alone is enough. It seems that we must go. Lin You murmured to himself. Recalling the last airdrop treasure chest, wasn't that where he grabbed his rare troops? It is precisely because of this rare unit that he has been able to travel so smoothly and lead so many people. He must get the contents of this treasure chest. Making up his mind, he hurriedly finished eating and got up to get ready. And as time went by, those people gradually guessed where the treasure chests in their area dropped. It is the location of the mine in the wasteland. I did. How could it fall there? Near the mine? It's too coincidental. It's really a coincidence, and it happens to be this time. It's over, it's over. Now there are so many tier 5 bosses in the mines, isn't it worth dying for? Are there any brothers in a group to steal the treasure chest? It's evenly divided. I have to say that the location of the treasure chest is a bit too coincidental. It just fell on the most competitive and most dangerous mining area, so people can't help but wonder if this was prearranged. But no matter what, the allure of the treasure chest is real. Even if they knew that they were facing danger, many people still rushed to the mining area, wanting to fight. After all, the things in the treasure chest are too tempting. Yu reading www.yuyukansha.com. Just a single weapon token has already made countless people coveted. Not to mention other things, if you are lucky enough to grab one, you can greatly improve your strength and increase the probability of surviving in this world. Lin You is no exception. After preparing in the territory, he left the territory with 25th tier troops, leaving 5 newly recruited 5th tier troops and Qingting stationed there. It took more than half an hour. Lin Yu walked through the forest and came to the wasteland. At this time, the Wasteland regional channel is no longer as deserted as it was a few days ago, and dense news keeps drifting by. Even from a distance, Lin Yu could see several lords who had just walked out of the forest, all rushing towards the mine, which made him frown. I'm afraid this time it won't be as smooth as last time. The last time he dropped the treasure chest by air, he only grabbed 2 things, because there were few people and no experience. This time, everyone knows what the treasure chest is like. With the preparation in mind, it will not be so easy for people to take things away. You have to think of a way. Is considering. His private chat message suddenly flashed, and a strange message appeared in his sight. Are you interested in working together? Things are divided into 5 and 5. When Lin Yu saw the signature, it turned out to be a message from Yen Wu. Could it be that he also rushed over and wanted to get involved? If this is the case, the two of them might be able to grab something from so many people working together. After thinking about it, Lin Yu immediately returned a message. Go to the woods near the mine and talk in detail. If you're enjoying my content, please consider donating a coffee. Or checking out my shirts on TeePublic. Near the mine, there is a woodland made of black trees. When Lin Yu arrived in a hurry, Yen Wu was already waiting there with his elemental troops. Coming. Yen Wu greeted him. Well, it took a while to meet a few monsters on the road. Lin Yu nodded in response, and then asked bluntly, what are your plans for the treasure chest? Yen Wu smiled confidently, of course, I'll tell you the truth. My earth elemental has a wide range of earthquake skills. Although the attack power is not strong, it can temporarily limit the mobility of others. You mean to cause a riot when the treasure chest fell, and then grab the contents of the treasure chest? Lin Yu's eyes lit up. That's right. Yen Wu nodded. At this time, you will have to rely on the superiority of your plant arm. After grabbing something in chaos, you should evacuate immediately. What do you think? I think it's feasible. Lin Yu gradually became serious. He took a look and saw that there were 18 fifth order arms around Yen Wu, and more than half of them were earth elements. Obviously, they came prepared, and more than half of what he brought with him were pink enchantresses, and the vines spread as far as more than 40 meters, so he could rush in front of the treasure chest and grab the contents. What's more, he has a powerful help like Lingxi by his side. Seeing that the situation is not good, it is completely possible to activate the Thorn's entanglement to temporarily control the situation. Okay, now that it's decided, let's discuss the details to save time for any mistakes. Yen Wu was obviously a cautious person. Seeing that Lin Yu agreed with his plan, he immediately began to discuss specific actions to prepare for the next action. And the other side. In the mining area. At this time, the lords who came from all directions have gathered, with all kinds of arms around. The 4th and 5th orders are everywhere, and even the rare mechanical arms can be seen on weekdays. Everyone guarded each other across the mine area, and the whole scene was extremely solemn. A lot of people really came this time. In a corner of the mine, a young man whispered to his companions. Indeed, there are many times more than last time, and many of them are fifth order. I'm afraid it won't be easy to grab something this time. It's not easy. Look over there, Wu Yan from the 17th and Mo Chanfeng from the 8th are here. I don't know how many big men on the list are hiding next to them. Either we just give up, or we won't know how to die when we die. Hearing the words of his companions, the young man immediately showed timidity. The big guys on the list are all fifth order powerhouses, and they are simply not something they can compete with. Don't get the baby when the time comes, but instead put your life in it first, it's not worth the loss. That companion also seemed to know the truth, and also had the intention of retreating. But at this time, there was a sudden commotion in the crowd. A young man with a stern face appeared in the mine with more than a dozen huge elemental troops. Isn't that Lin You? Why is he even here? Lin You? The third-ranked elemental boss? My god, there are so many tier 5 arms. Is this the strength of the third place? Damn it. If he's here, I'm afraid it won't be easier to grab things later. Everyone was discussing a lot below, and their expressions suddenly became solemn. Lin You ignored them directly and walked into the mining area swaggeringly, as if he was afraid that others would not know that he was here. In addition, he was already very famous, and after a little bit of spread, people in the entire mining area knew that he was here, and they gradually took precautions. No way. As a resident player in the top 10 on the list, Lin You has no doubts about his strength, and is definitely the biggest threat to them robbing the treasure chest this time. There have even been many people nodding to each other in private, reaching a tacit understanding. As soon as Lin You made a move, they would immediately stop them with all their might. They must not let Lin You grab the contents of the treasure chest. Otherwise, after Lin You escaped from here, it would be almost impossible to grab it and come back. Lin You could naturally feel the change in the atmosphere on the field, and the corners of his mouth gradually evoked a faint smile. Glancing at the back of the crowd, a figure hidden in the corner of the mine stepped forward generously, attracting everyone's attention. Lin You hid in the corner. The plant troops had already been hidden by him in the black forest, behind the mine, with only Lingxi and a few Treant leaders beside him. Now everyone's attention is on Lin You. No one would notice him at all, nor would they know him, let alone think how much of a threat he could pose. As time went by, more and more people were outside the mine area, and the atmosphere became more and more tense. Everyone looked up at the sky, and the streamer that was approaching rapidly, as if they were welcoming something coming. Suddenly, someone shouted. The nervous people were all shocked, and they saw that streamer with endless power, crashing to the ground. Boom! The ground of the entire mining area shook violently. A mighty wave of air swept across the sky, shaking the surrounding rocky mountains to shake off constantly, and a large cloud of smoke and dust spread out. Immediately afterwards, a treasure chest with gold borders, twice as luxurious as the previous one, appeared in front of everyone. Treasure chest. The moment they saw the treasure chest, everyone was shocked and immediately became ecstatic. Last time, because I didn't know the situation, I missed the chance to compete for the treasure www.lightnovel.com this time. Another treasure chest was finally dropped. How could they let it go? Go! Get the treasure chest first. Go away. The treasure chest is mine. Hurry up and stop them. Don't let them touch the treasure chest. Think beautifully. Go away. What? In an instant, the entire mining area was in chaos. Everyone led their troops towards the treasure chest, and the dazzling attacks continued to fall and exploded frantically in the crowd. In the blink of an eye, many people were shot and killed on the spot. Lin You in the crowd was not idle either. He directly led his elemental troops to break out of the encirclement and quickly approached the treasure chest, which surprised everyone. Quick! Quickly stop him! As for Lin Yu's strength, they know best, but once he touches the treasure chest, the result will definitely be very troublesome. All of a sudden, everyone turned to Yan Wu and quickly surrounded him, trying to prevent him from getting close to the treasure chest. Unexpectedly. At this moment, a smile suddenly appeared on the corner of Yan Wu's mouth. Earthquake. With his low voice, the earth element around him raised his arms in unison, and his huge fists slammed into the ground. Boom. There was a sound of shock, the ground cracked, the ground collapsed, and quickly spread out around, and the entire area vibrated wildly. Those people and troops couldn't react in time, and instantly fell into a state of imbalance. Their scalps were numb from the shock, and even the area where the treasure chest was located was not spared. At this time, a vine suddenly rushed out from the side and swam straight to the treasure chest against the ground. Lin You finally made his move. Oops. Someone wants to steal the treasure chest. The people who reacted immediately discovered the vines rushing towards the treasure chest. They were shocked and ordered their troops to intercept them. Think about it? It's not that easy. The wall of flames. Hearing Yan Wu shouting loudly, the fire element around him also moved. Hot flames erupted from their hands, forming a wall of flames between the crowd and the treasure chest, completely blocking their way. With these walls of fire blocking, Lin Yu's vines came to the treasure chest smoothly, opened the treasure chest, and all 6 things wrapped in light appeared in everyone's eyes. 6 pieces. Everyone was shocked and looked at the treasure chest in disbelief. Unexpectedly, the number of treasures this time will be twice as much as before. And inside these luminous treasures, there were 2 tokens-like things lying quietly, which made them ecstatic. A troop token. It's a troop token. Someone couldn't help exclaiming. Even Lin You was extremely shocked. Because he knows very well that the token of arms in the treasure chest is not an ordinary token, but a rare type. There is absolutely no one in the entire region who knows what rare arms represent. No need to think about it at all, those vines swept towards the 2 tokens under his signal. Want to take the token? Do you have my consent? But at this moment, a cold voice came. Next to an elegant man, several troops with human faces and snake bodies suddenly opened their eyes, and burst out with a look that seemed to be real. The vines that were going to take away the token of the troops suddenly turned into rocks and shattered into countless pieces. Gorgeous? Lin Yu's eyes narrowed, and he looked at the man. It was Emo Changfeng, who was the 8th in the rankings, as someone had discussed just now. It is said that Emo Changfeng's territory is a humanoid type, but he did not expect to have such a powerful unit as the Gorgon, and he also learned the petrification staring skill. He can instantly petrify his plants, obviously reaching the 5th rank. But did he really think that he could stop himself at this level? Lin Yu sneered in his heart, and behind him, the pink enchantresses appeared, and the dense vines fluttered in the sky, enclosing the entire area around the treasure chest. At that terrifying scene, everyone's eyes widened in shock. This is the first time they have seen such an exaggerated number of plants. Even those 5th-order plants can't reach such a scale. They want to step forward to stop it. But by the time they reacted, a pink mist had quietly descended, causing their spirits to become dazed. Together with Emo Changfeng, they all fell into a trance. It was as if they were in a fairyland, with a young girl whispering and caressing beside them, fascinated. Not good. This fog is poisonous. Emo Changfeng was shocked, and instantly woke up. But when he looked at the treasure chest again, the 2 arms tokens had already fallen into Lin Yu's hands, and he also pulled back together with his plants, ready to escape. Don't even think about escaping. Emo Changfeng shouted loudly, and wanted to bring the Gorgon to catch up. But in the next second, Lin Shi next to Lin Yu flew up quickly, and pointed at him with his staff out of thin air. Countless thorns instantly bound their bodies, preventing them from moving. By the time they broke free, Lin Yu had already fled with the plants. Even Yan Wu in the crowd didn't know when to disappear. Fuck. Let him escape. Chase. Be sure to grab the troop token back. The people who reacted immediately chased after them frantically, wanting to take back the token. And the remaining part of the people were staring at the remaining things again, and joined the frantic scramble in a blink of an eye. Although Mo Changfeng was unwilling, he rationally did not pursue it. Because he could feel that Lin You had just shown mercy, this made him extremely shocked. In this area, there is such a powerful character hidden. Could it be the perverts in front of him? But among the people in front of him, only one is of the plant type. Could it be that? Mo Changfeng was suddenly stunned, his expression uncertain. However, before he could think about it, the screams of killing next to him pulled him back again. Forget it, let's grab something first. He gritted his teeth and immediately joined the battle for the treasure. The whole scene was a mess, roars and screams spread from every corner, and in a blink of an eye, I forgot about the arms token. Here, I have to mention Lin Yu's wit. Originally, he could have taken everything away, but he didn't. Because he took everything away, he would definitely become the target of public criticism and be hunted down by everyone. No matter how strong he is, it is impossible to deal with so many people at one time. At that time, his personal wealth will be empty, and there is no place to cry if he wants to cry. Leaving some things behind can not only restrain most people, but also let him escape smoothly. Why not do it? After getting rid of the stalkers behind him on the wasteland, Lin You plunged into the forest and contacted by private message, and soon joined Yan Wu, who had been waiting in the forest. How is it? Did you get the thing? Yan Wu hurried up to meet him, with uncontrollable anticipation on his face. I got it. Lin Yu smiled and shook the 2 tokens in his hand, and handed one of them to Yan Wu. Take it, it's yours, it's a rare good thing. Long before the action, they had already negotiated a 5-to-5 split. Therefore, 2 tokens are naturally 1 for each person. Yan Wu was not polite to him, and took the token directly. Thank you, this time, thanks to your poisonous mist, otherwise it would not have been so smooth. You're welcome, the earthquake and fire wall you created also helped a lot, and you even used it as a bait. Lin You waved his hand and said. Then he took a deep breath and looked at the weapon token in his hand. Name, Troop Token, Rare. Function, randomly unlock a 5th order rare unit. Requirements, Tier 5 territory, 1000 magic energy. Sure enough, as he expected, www.lightnovel.com is a rare arms token, and it is also a 5th order arm token. Rare troops? Yan Wu had a surprised look on his face, and looked at the information on the token in his hand in confusion. It was obviously the first time he had seen such a thing. Seeing this, Lin You explained aloud, it's a more powerful unit than ordinary units. There is such a thing. Yan Wu was very surprised, then froze for a moment, and looked at Lin You with some surprise. You seem to know this token very well. It's just luck that I've heard of it. Lin You smiled mysteriously, without telling the truth. He couldn't say that he had already grabbed a rare weapon token before, right? Yan Wu seemed to have guessed something, and gave him a deep look. Lin You didn't want to continue discussing this topic, so he said, since the things are already in hand, let's separate them here, so that those people will not chase after them. Okay, then I'll go back to the territory first, and I'll have the opportunity to cooperate later. Yan Wu didn't bother about this topic either, he nodded at him, then turned and left. It can be seen that he is a little anxious. After all, he is holding something as precious as a rare weapon token in his hand. It is really uncomfortable not to go back and use it quickly. Lin You is the same. After seeing Yan Wu away, and after identifying the direction, he drove back towards his territory with the plants. Then after a long time, a group of people arrived late and appeared at the place where they met. Damn. Let him escape, back to the territory. Lin You excitedly came under the tree of life and took out the arms token in his arms. This is the 2nd rare arms token he has obtained, and he is very much looking forward to it. Taking a deep breath, he immediately chose to use it. Do you need to consume 1000 points of mana to use a class token, rare? Fortunately, Lin You had more than 1000 points of magic energy left in the previous ranking reward. He didn't hesitate to choose yes. The next second, the token in his hand turned into a stream of light, immersed in the trunk of the tree of life, and pieces of fluorescent light fell from the tree. Congratulations, unlock the 5th order rare arms, Wood Demon Dragon. A brand new unit name appeared in Lin Yu's eyes. Just by looking at the name, Lin Yu felt that this unit was not easy, so he immediately spent 100 mana to recruit one. In an instant, the light flickered, the plant soared, and gradually condensed into a half-human high plant dragon in front of his eyes. Name, Wood Demon Dragon. Race, Plant. Level 5, 0/250. Strength, 175. Physique, 175. Agility, 200. Spirit, 175. Skills, Swift Shadow, the body turns into an afterimage, doubling your speed in a short period of time. Super Regeneration, the force of nature circulates throughout the body, greatly improving self-healing ability, and can regenerate broken limbs. Introduction, he used to be the guardian of the world tree, possessing the highest comprehensive attributes among all plant-based units, extremely fast speed, and the ability to fly. The natural crystal nucleus on his chest is the core of his life. What a high attribute. Looking at the Wood Demon Dragon standing proudly in front of him, Lin Yu was so shocked that he was almost speechless. Apart from a single attribute, the comprehensive attributes of this Wood Demon Dragon are even close to Lingxi, who has royal blood. Especially the agility, with a full 200 points, it is definitely the highest among the 5th tier arms he has ever seen. It is indeed worthy of the name of a rare weapon. With such an attribute, Lin Yu doesn't need to use mutation on it at all, he can fight directly after recruiting it, which is convenient and saves money. Moreover, Lin Yu always felt that his plant units were slow to move, and the melee units only had a bulky dryad leader. The addition of this Wood Demon Dragon immediately made up for his shortcomings. And most importantly, it can fly. Although it looks like it is still in the form of a young dragon, it cannot carry people, but I am not sure that it will grow in size after the level is raised. Will it be able to carry him around? Lin Yu is still very much looking forward to this. Then he studied around the Wood Demon Dragon again, and found that the Wood Demon Dragon is composed of plants all over its body, with leaves and branches growing on the top of its head, limbs, tail, and wings. Turning to the whole body, it looks mighty and extraordinary. Such speed-type units are most suitable for raids and reconnaissance. So Lin Yu spent another 400 mana to recruit 4 Wood Demon Dragons, a total of 5 Wood Demon Dragons, just in case. And the magic energy he had accumulated was completely consumed. Until then, Lin Yu didn't have time to click on the regional channel to check the news about the competition for the treasure chest. Brothers, how is the situation at the mine? What else? The items in the treasure chest have been robbed long ago, and many people have died, even the 5th order ones. So scary? Fortunately, I didn't go. I heard that there are arms tokens, resource exchange coupons, and upgrade scrolls to directly raise the territory to the 5th rank. Damn it. Go directly to the 5th rank? And there are arms tokens? Yeah. The bosses who were present said that the token seems to have been snatched away by a plant system. It's the flora again? Seeing this news, everyone was stunned. When the treasure chest was dropped by air for the first time, the things were taken away by the flora. Is it even this time? This made them all wonder if the two could be the same person, and some even set their sights on Lin Yu, thinking that he did it. Otherwise, which plant type can grab something from so many tier 5 bosses and then run away? But the problem is, they have no evidence to prove that Lin Yu did it. After all, few people have really seen Lin Yu's appearance, let alone recognized him. And even if you know it's him, what can you do? They can't provoke the second-ranking boss, can they? So they were just having fun, and soon they were overwhelmed by more news. The entire regional channel was lively, and they were all talking about the treasure chest. Lin Yu watched for a while. Finding that no one could confirm his identity, he finally closed the chat channel with confidence. At this time, the sky has gradually darkened. He didn't go out anymore, and came to the open space of the territory to set up a pot and make a fire, preparing to cook a sumptuous dinner to comfort his hard day. As for where this pot came from, naturally, Lin You made it with iron ore and copper ore in the production workshop. He only discovered this yesterday. There are even a lot of seasonings made from plants, which can be made with just a few ingredients and magic energy. It's so convenient. With these things, he finally doesn't have to eat dry barbecue all the time. I was thinking. A reminder suddenly sounded in his mind. Congratulations, the poisonous demon girl, Qingting, has reached the full value of experience and successfully advanced to the 5th rank. Ivy has advanced? Lin Yu was stunned for a moment, and immediately became surprised. Unexpectedly, after 4 days of accumulation, Qingting's experience finally reached its full value. In the blink of an eye, Qingting's huge body was enveloped by a beam of light and began to grow rapidly. The flower buds on the top also gradually turned from lavender to pink, and the body was raised a lot, and vines were wrapped around the top of his treehouse, woven into a mesh-like decoration. What is even more exaggerated is that the forest formed by giant vines outside the territory expands nearly 100 meters away at once. www.lightnovel.com. There is a pale pink mist inside, which looks extremely deep and terrifying. Name: Pink Enchantress Qingting, Royal Family. Race: Plant. Level: Level 5, 0/250. Strength: 185. Physique: 200. Agility: 0, Spirit: 180. Skills: Devour, Charming Poison Mist, Forest of Thorns. Introduction: The king of the Pink Enchantress, huge vines and poisonous mist form a field all around him, guarding one side. As expected of a plant with royal blood, in addition to 0 agility, its basic attributes are much higher than ordinary 5th order. The 5th order ivy, the ability to protect the territory, has been greatly strengthened. Not only does the forest expand, but it also inherits the charming poisonous mist of the Pink Enchantress. As soon as the enemy walks into the forest, he will immediately be charmed by the poisonous mist and erode his body. At that time, he will be able to easily deal with the enemy and kill people invisible. Lin You is very fortunate. Fortunately, he changed to the ancient knowledge tree before, otherwise Qingting would not be able to upgrade so quickly. If so, the effect of the ancient tree of knowledge increasing other plants by 1 experience per hour is still very powerful, and there is no level limit. Ordinary Tier 4 units only need to stay beside it for 4 or 5 days to be promoted to Tier 5, which is really a good helper for early stage upgrades. The only regret, it is that the ancient tree of knowledge cannot be upgraded, and it also occupies one of his recruiting positions, which will affect his ranking. This is probably the drawback brought about by the powerful effect. In this regard, Lin You can still accept it. The competition for mines is still fermenting. After another night has passed, a large number of Tier 5s have begun to appear on the list, joining the competition for resources in the mines. Affected by the treasure chest dropped yesterday, the mining area of the wasteland has also become the focus of all lords. Every now and then, we can see a lot of news about the competition for mines. Someone was killed, someone fought with someone, or a faction fought with another force. All in all, it was chaos. They are all madly competing for resources to upgrade to Tier 6. Seeing this situation, Lin You didn't plan to go to this muddy water again. He clicked on the leaderboard and took a look, and found that he was still ranked 2nd, while Yan Wu returned to the top 5 because of the rare arms. This first place is not easy. Lin Yu's eyes narrowed slightly. After last night's accumulation, all of his 4th tier arms have gradually risen to 5th tier, plus 2 royal bloodlines, Lingxi and Qingting, and 5 rare arms, the Wood Demon Dragon. Except for a 3rd order ancient knowledge tree that cannot be upgraded, there are a total of 49 5th order arms, and they still can't surpass the 1st place. This was a bit unexpected for him. If he guessed correctly, the 1st place guy probably obtained rare arms through other means, or had other opportunities, or cultivated 6th order arms by some means. Otherwise, it is impossible to sit firmly on the throne of number 1. After all, he himself is the same, because he got the only ability to mutate because of a bad start. There is no guarantee that other people will also get some opportunities. This is all possible. Sure enough, there are still many powerful people in this world. With a sigh, Lin You turned off the list and came to the front of the Tower of Arms. After a day of research yesterday, he has researched the plant elves and the poisonous enchantress to the 5th rank, and they have become recruitable. Counting the newly unlocked Wood Demon Dragon, a total of 3 Tier 5 troops can be recruited. For the rest of the time, he plans to study the flower essence, tree spirit, mushroom, and piranha flower for emergencies. However, this process will definitely take a lot of time. Fortunately, the level of these units is relatively low, and the initial research did not consume much mana. After arranging the research task, I ate something. Lin You went out with 25 5th order plants. When he was about to go to bed last night, Luo Lei sent him a message saying that he and his friends had collected enough materials to advance to the 5th rank, and wanted to use 1,000 mana to buy 2 4th rank territorial essences from him. Considering that the other party had provided him with a lot of information, Lin You agreed. Anyway, it is useless for him to keep the essence of the 4th order territory, so he might as well exchange some magic energy. Through the forest, Lin You soon brought the plants outside Luo Lei's territory. Luo Lei and his friend, who had been waiting for a long time, immediately greeted them excitedly. "Boss Lin You, long time no see." "It's really been a long time." Lin You smiled. "Is this your friend?" "Yes, his name is Gua. And the other territorial essence I asked for from you is for him." Luo Lei hurriedly explained. At the same time, he and Gua secretly looked at the 25 types of troops around Lin You, and they were extremely shocked. Level 5. All are Tier 5 troops. With such terrifying combat power, as long as Lin You is willing, they can even destroy all their territories, leaving none of them. Is this the true strength of number 2 in the rankings? Luo Lei couldn't believe it. It's only been a few days since he disappeared. Lin Yu's strength has changed so much, and even the number of troops is much more than before. Just when he was shocked, Lin You had already taken out 2 crystal clear crystals from his personal space. "Here, the essence of the territory you want." "Is this the essence of the 4th order territory?" Luo Lei and Gua swallowed at the same time, staring intently at the 2 crystals. To upgrade the territory, they must devour the essence of the territory of the same level, they know it. But when they really saw the essence of the 4th order territory with their own eyes, they couldn't help but get excited, and hurriedly initiated a deal with Lin You, offering 1,000 magic energy and taking over the essence of the territory. "Okay, since the transaction is over, I should go back too." With the magic in hand, Lin You naturally didn't want to stay long, and turned around to leave. "Boss Lin You, wait a minute." Unexpectedly, Luo Lei suddenly stopped him. "Anything else?" Lin You turned around in confusion. Luo Lei hesitated for a while and said, "I wonder if Boss Lin You has heard of it." "Someone found out about the misty area at the end of the wasteland yesterday?" "Misty area?" "That's right, at the northeast end of this wasteland, it is a very terrifying foggy area. I heard that the 5th order lords were killed on the spot when they entered, and no one was able to come out alive." "Is there such a thing?" Lin You was shocked. He had never seen anyone say this on the regional channel. "Yes, I only heard about it this morning." "It shouldn't be long before news reaches the regional channel." Luo Lei nodded and said, "Although the fog is far away from our area, those who have gone to investigate said that the fog seems to be slowly spreading and is approaching our area." "Come closer this way?" Lin Yu's eyes narrowed. This could be incredible news. If that fog really came towards their area, wouldn't they all be in danger? Also, at this time, Gua, who was beside Luo Lei, interjected, "I heard that they still saw a lot of shadows in that fog. There are shadows as high as mountains." "Shadow?" "That's right, this is what those who came back from the end of the wasteland said." Gua nodded again and again. Hearing his words, Lin You fell into deep thought. Originally, he had doubts about the world and felt that there was something hidden behind it. Recalling what Lin You had said to him before, combined with what Luo Lei and the two had just said, I always felt that there was something strange in it. But no matter what he thought, he just couldn't figure out the key. Could it be that? Do you really have to rise to the 6th level in order to understand the truth? But if you rush to the 6th rank, will you encounter the situation that Lin You said? This is a mystery. But anyway, this news is still very important to him. After thinking about it, he immediately said to the two, "Thank you for telling me such important news." "You're welcome. This is what we should do." Luo Lei laughed. The reason why he told Lin You about this was just borrowing flowers to offer Buddha. After all, even if they don't say it, it won't take long for the news to spread throughout the region, and Lin You will know sooner or later. After chatting for a while on the spot, Luo Lei bid farewell to Lin You and rushed back to their own territory, preparing to upgrade the territory with the territory essence they had just obtained. As for Lin You, he turned and left with his plant army, rushing towards the wasteland. Although it is very chaotic over there right now, people are dying every day. But he still had to collect the resources needed to upgrade the 6th order in the past, in order to deal with the possible changes in the future, and take precautions. Between the endless wasteland and the wasteland, there is also a forest. If you want to go to the wasteland, you have to go through the forest. Lin You was used to this for a long time, and walked in the forest with a mighty army of plants. And the 3 wood demon dragons he brought out flew in the air and took on the work of reconnaissance. Through the spiritual connection, Lin You can quickly receive the message from the wood demon dragon. As long as he finds something abnormal, he can immediately respond to it, so that he will not be in a hurry. Don't say it yet. The appearance of the wood demon dragon made Lin Yu's exploration and investigation work much easier and more efficient. Walking and stopping all the way, it is easy to find those monsters hidden in the surrounding, and then he can easily solve them. In less than an hour, he successfully passed through the forest and came to a scorched wasteland. At the same time, behind a rocky mountain in the distance, 3 hidden figures also stared at him. "Big brother! Someone is here." These 3 people have been here since early in the morning, specifically ambushing those lords who pass by in order to seize their resources. In just one morning, I don't know how many people lost their lives at their hands. They are 3 uncompromisingly fierce characters. Especially the scar-faced man known as the Big Brother, who has reached the 5th order level, and is accompanied by 10 huge 5th order double-headed leopards. Even the 2 younger brothers next to them each carried 5 insect-type spider girls and 5 undead-type skeleton rangers. A full 25th steps. With such strength, even among all the lords, he was a minority, so he quietly hid behind the boulder, waiting for Lin You to approach. But they didn't notice. Above a few hundred meters in the sky, 3 shadows were flying back and forth, locking their positions long ago. A Lord Hunter? Lin You, who was walking forward, showed an imperceptible sneer at the corner of his mouth. He did not expose the other party immediately, but pretended not to know, and slowly approached Shirshan. "Come on. It seems to be from a plant." A little brother next to the big man whispered, "Plant type?" The big man frowned and seemed to think of something, but immediately, he said coldly, "It doesn't matter whether he is a plant type or what type, he only brings so many troops, just kill him." In his opinion, there are only a dozen or so troops around Lin You. Even if they are all tier 5, the number is not comparable to theirs. At this level, isn't it easy to capture? Nothing to worry about at all. But is this really the case? Of course not. Because long before the traces of these people were discovered, Lin You had already let the smaller Lingxi and the wood demons hide on the body of the tree spirit leader, so they could not be seen by the naked eye. In addition to the 3 wood demon dragons flying in the sky, there are exactly 25, 5 more than them. The 3 people who didn't know it secretly observed Lin Yu's movements through the gap. When Lin You came to a position less than 30 meters away from them, his face suddenly became ruthless. "Go. Surround him." When the voice fell, the 3 of them split into 2 groups and flanked both sides of Lin You. The 5 gigantic lady spiders spewed out several lines of highly poisonous spider silks and attacked Lin You straight at Lin You. Finally can't stand it anymore? Lin You sneered, turned over and jumped to avoid the spider silk. At the same time, the 10 two-headed leopards led by the big Han had also rushed to his side, turning into afterimages, and suddenly rushed towards him. He actually knew him, the most crucial lord, first. If they were ordinary people, they would have been frightened by this sudden attack and let them slaughter. But Lin You is different, he has been prepared for a long time. There was no need for him to issue an order at all, the dense vines had already appeared beside him, tying the two-headed leopards rushing over and throwing them away. A few of them were faster to escape the vines, but they were blocked by the huge body of the tree spirit leader, and they slammed into it a few times. The strength of the attack is indeed worthy of being a 5th-order beast-type unit. Fortunately, the wood demons led by Lin You waved their staff in time and used healing techniques to heal the wound. It's actually blocked? In the distance, the scar-faced man looked at all this in shock. He didn't expect that Lin You would react so quickly, blocking their surprise attack. You must know that his two-headed leopards are known for their speed. Ordinary units can't keep up with their speed, let alone block them all. And this time, the attacks of the 2 younger brothers on the other side followed. The spider web restraint of the lady spider fell from the sky, and the bow and arrow of the skeleton ranger broke through the air, blocking almost all of Lin Yu's escape routes. It is obviously not the first time that such a skillful cooperation has been done. Lin Yu's heart gradually cooled down. He pulled out the bone knife around his waist to block one of the bows and arrows, while the other ones were blocked by another tree spirit leader, and several huge gaps were blown out on his body, and he took a few steps back. However, it has the plant protection skills inherited from the grass and trees Yuan Ling, and it did not suffer any fatal injuries. And the large cobwebs on the top of the head were also cut open by the leaves controlled by Lin You and the wood demons, turning into countless fragments and falling to the ground. Their joint offensive was resolved with gestures. Come on together. Get rid of him. They couldn't take Lin You down even after turning over the offensive. The 3 of them finally turned into anger and ordered the troops to swarm up and attack Lin You again. Humph. Do you really think I'm easy to bully? Lin You snorted coldly and no longer reserved it. One after another vines rushed out of the pink demon girl next to them, and swishly greeted their troops www.manganovel.com at the same time. Lin You and the wood demons were surrounded by green lights and tied with thorns. The two-headed leopards rushing in front of them jumped and threw a bunch of red mushrooms at them. Boom boom. The deafening explosion instantly blasted the two-headed leopards out, and the remaining two-headed leopards were pushed back by the powerful air waves. On the other side, the spider girl and the skeleton ranger were entangled with the vines and fought hard to separate. But in the next second, several ground thorns suddenly emerged from under their feet and penetrated their bodies at once. The vines next to them seized the opportunity and swished a few times, easily piercing their heads. In the blink of an eye, most of the 3 troops were killed, leaving behind a corpse. How can it be? The scar-faced man's eyes were splitting, and he didn't expect such a result. His 2 younger brothers had panic written all over their faces, and they stepped back in panic. But at this time, suddenly, there was a loud cracking sound from overhead. As soon as they looked up, they saw 3 afterimages flying towards them at an unimaginable speed. The wood demon dragon's wings cut open their necks and penetrated directly. The 3 people's bodies trembled in unison, and they all stood still. Gradually, blood streaks appeared on the neck. They wanted to stretch out their hands to cover it, but in the end, it was dark in front of them, and they fell to the ground with a bang. Together with their remaining troops, they all wailed and died. Successfully killed the 5th Order Lord, a total of 2,485 magic energy, 1476 wood, 1580 stone, 225 iron ore, 5th Order Territory Essence X3. Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.